Tune signs are good. All right. Company, attention.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning in some places where you're at, where you're viewing from. Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite vets on the net. It's me, your man Trey. You got CC, the Commanders, the people's coach, and we're first formation coming to y'all just to talk about a little something. Y'all, we've been away for a week. CC, what's good with you, brother?
Man, look, I'm gonna jump right into it. Cowboy fan, hey, I hate the hire. I'm gonna be the first one to say I hate the hire. Brian Schottenheimer. And I hate Jerry's excuses for why he did it when we already know why you did it. Oh, first time. No, Jason Garrett was never a coach anywhere else other than an assistant coach or something. So I don't want to hear that about first time coach. This ain't the first time you've done this talking about, oh, I'm scared because I'm out here on the. This ain't the first time you did this with Jason Garrett. We've seen this play already.
So when you look at it, right? Like, I mean, let's unbox this, right? Let's break this down a little bit. In essence, like, one, who else was out there for the Cowboys to go after once they had burnt that bridge? I would believe. I don't know if it's a situation to where McCarthy would have came back if he would have been given the opportunity. I'm very sure not. But once that was broached, who do you think was out there that was worthy of or was willing to take the job?
Aaron Glenn just went to the Jets. I don't want to hear that, man. We could have Ben Johnson. Look here, you the most you the franchise with the most dough. Why ain't you paying nobody? You could have paid, man. You could have offered Dion so much money he couldn't have resisted. You could have made it hard for real. You could have made it hard for Ben Johnson to take a Bears offer. You could have put the word out that you paying the most. Why ain't we doing that? Why ain't we? I'm serious. Why ain't we going after aggressively? Not only that, forget them. I thought Kellen Moore, if you was going to go a first-time head coach, why not Kellen Moore? The guy that made your quarterback one of the best in the league. See, I don't understand your thinking. I mean, for real, I don't understand, the ownership and the head office of the Dallas Cowboys, man. I don't get it. But I will say this. I'm going to get off the Cowboys now and just say, man, we got a long road ahead. We ain't addressed no issues. To be honest, we still question marks every which way you look.
So I mean, it's funny, right? Because one thing that you see, or what I think I see, is that the Dallas Cowboys want to keep it in-house, right? They want to stay in-house with their hires, because the interview, I mean, he banged Deion Sanders' line. The possibility he looked at hiring, I mean, spoke to Jason Witten. I would be interested to know, I'm very sure it would have been out by now. Did he call up Romo and ask him what was his interest level? Like all that type of stuff. Like, he looked like he tried. Kellen Moore, what you would have thought would have been something, but maybe not. I don't know, or maybe it just went on too long. Kellen Moore was still in the playoff, still is in contention for a Super Bowl. So him getting on the line was hard. It would have been easier this week because the week off in state was there. It seemed like he was trying to keep it there, and then honestly, Schottenheimer might have been or might be the best bet when you look at who was left of his candidates for the most part. Although I'm very sure there were some other people out there that could have interviewed, is whether he wanted them or not.
So let me just ask you this: with Schottenheimer, we doing what Dan Quinn them doing. We doing what Dan Campbell them doing with Schottenheimer. We doing what Kyle Shanahan has done. We doing what McVay them with Schottenheimer. That's what you're saying? Because I don't see it. Because Marty Schottenheimer never did it. People don't like to talk about that. People don't like to tell the truth. But the truth is, Maybe Brian Schottenheimer got a little something on it, but nah, it's not like Kyle Shanahan came from. You know what I'm saying? It's not like what I'm saying. It's not like Lil Bill. It's not like the Bill Belichick. I'm saying this is different. Marty Schottenheimer didn't do it from that perspective. So why am I gonna believe that Brian gonna get it done?
Well, it's a different time, and then Brian Schottenheimer, and then again, what I believe I heard, if correct me if I'm wrong, he had the situation in which, additionally, the conversation has been that Schottenheimer was last year's offensive coordinator, although he didn't call the plays, and he's been around Dak Prescott for a little bit. So there's a
What kind of offensive coordinator don't call play? What are you contributing if you consider the offensive coordinator?
I'm just game plan because I mean you don't call the plays because your head coach says I'm going to take the plays. You just construct the game.
So
plan
basically, you calling the plays that you designing plays only that the head coach approved. See what I'm saying? Like, where's your boss move? What move did you make to get here? Sometimes you have to look at those steps, Trey. What moves did you make? We saw everybody else progress. We saw what Dan Quinn did as a head coach, as a, what I'm saying? You know who gets me? Spagnolia, which I want to go there in a minute. He got to be the greatest coordinator ever, and he ain't no head coach nowhere. But he probably gonna be. So maybe he don't want to be.
Yeah, I think Spags will pass that. Yeah.
Maybe he go get another Super Bowl, put it out of range. But what I'm saying is that as a coordinator, what's your pedigree? I mean, what do you mean you was the offensive coordinator, but you didn't call plays? You didn't do nothing then. What did you do? Design a play here and there? I mean, you didn't do nothing.
It's rough. It's tough for the most part.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Oh, the head coach. Well, the head coach was doing that. Like,
yeah, and it is rough. But when you look at it, right, and you start to break it down, and you start to go more and more into it, it's like it's a lot of stuff now that you look at it, and you speaking of just like you just said, Spagnolia, who probably won't. And what you see is there has been a lot of people that have come out of the Kansas City organization that have went on to try to attempt, which I really think there is when you think about it, there is a sense of the game is repeating, but it's just repeating in Kansas City. Because you gotta think it was a lot of that in I was about to say Buffalo, in New England, where people from the Belichick tree of coaching dispersed to other organizations, took up other hams,
and they all
ended up finding a way back
because they all sucked. Let's just keep it real. They all sucked. Like, I don't know one that came from under Bill Belichick's umbrella that didn't suck, man. All them dudes sucked.
You talking about his coaching tree?
Yeah, his coaching tree. They all sucked. Nobody thrived from Bill Belichick. That's why they all had a chance to go back, because they didn't do well where they were. Like, case in point, Vrabel, I don't know how much I know he was on the Patriot staff, like briefly, I think.
Yeah.
But he went on, and I think he had the most success, which wasn't much success. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't much success. So it's like, yeah, that coaching tree, wasn't that great. And I don't know why that is. But I see Andy Reid. I know Andy Reid came from like the Mike Holmgren tree, right? Like all these dudes, he came from like the Mike Holmgren. Mike Holmgren put some good coaches in the game. You know what I'm saying? Did Mike Tomlin come from the Mike Holmgren tree?
Yeah.
Like, aren't a lot of these dudes associated? What I'm saying is, we know Tony Dungy and Mike Holmgren put a lot of good people in the, you know what I'm saying? They put a lot of good coaches in. So I'm not mad. Kyle Shanahan's doing that, putting a lot of good coaches in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, coaches that's making the playoffs, contending. Not everybody's doing that. My problem with the Dallas Cowboys is this simple, man. You holding on to whatever happened 30 years ago or whatever, Jerry. It's been time to let that go, man. Get the best man for the job. You know it's somebody better than Schottenheimer out there. You know it was. So my point is, why we ain't going for the best? Why we don't want the best? I mean, I don't even understand it. We wouldn't go after no running backs. And now I want to switch that to that. New York Giants, I hate y'all. As a Dallas Cowboy fan, I hate y'all.
What's going on, Mike? What's going on?
New York Giants organization, I hate y'all. Y'all put Saquon Barkley on the market, let the Eagles get this guy, and you see where my Cowboys at, man. As a Cowboy fan in the NFC East, both two of our rivals crushing us. One thanks to the Giants, and the other one thanks to us. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad that we fired Dan Quinn. I felt like after that performance, that playoff performance against the Green Bay Packers, I did tell you, they should fire Dan Quinn. They should fire Mike McCarthy. I thought they should have fired everybody at that one particular point. So I'm not mad. But Dan Quinn, wow. But if you go keep somebody, why we didn't keep that guy? Obviously, that guy had a better plan.
Yeah, he's been. I guess I got the couch out, Mike. So I guess it's a vent session. So we're gonna let him get it all out. Go ahead, lay down, talk about it.
I hate the Giants. Did you see the move they just made?
So I mean, you gotta think, right? It's all in business. It's all in business. It's a hit or a miss. And sometimes it's just like, sometimes in relationships, it's a hit or a miss, and you try, you continue. So it's like, you have to really look at it and take it in stride and be like, are we able to recover from this? And the Giants ain't going nowhere, right? The Giants are not going nowhere. They're solidified. I don't even think there's a possibility for them to be sold and anyone, their owners, to vote to let them go anywhere unless they're going. There's no market, for them to go anywhere. So the Giants are not the NFC Giants. New York Giants are not going anywhere. And it's just they have to build. So it's unfortunate. Like it's rough, but they got to.
You trade him. You don't let him leave you when the season. You trade him mid-season far away. You don't send him to the same division.
So you gotta think about it. Like, wasn't no one for the Eagles. It was. You gotta think it was blood in the water. Wasn't no one about to make that trade.
But you don't let him go to the Eagles. This is. I'm just speaking as a Cowboy fan. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, as a Cowboy fan, you don't let that happen.
Y'all had y'all opportunity to get him.
We should have got him. My point is, I'm not gonna even go there about us passing. Giants, what y'all doing? Y'all should have paid him. You should have paid him to stay in. You should have paid him to stay. Sorry.
So, sorry,
Saquon. I think you're great, but I'm just saying.
Realistically, right? If he had stayed in Dallas, would we have seen the same type of Saquon?
Yeah, I think
I'm on that now. Like,
the only difference is we ain't got that kind of offensive line. But I think that, we ain't got that kind of offensive line. You see the kind of holes he running through. But even if you narrowed the gaps on the holes, he's still gonna be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? When he's doing his thing. So my thing is, but give credit to the Eagles, man. Like, I hate to say that. See, I gotta be fair though. I don't like the Eagles neither. You know what I'm saying? Can't stand them neither. But at the same time, you see the way they block. You see that offensive line? They may not be able to pass block as that great, but that run blocking.
The run blocking.
Man, you know what kills me? That counter that they run. I was talking to a coworker today, man, and I said, why don't the defense move? You see these dudes coming at you like shift. Man, you see that wall? You see that counter? They run the counter the best I've seen in years. I haven't seen a counter run like that since Roger Craig and the San Francisco 49ers when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? That counter tray or that counter, whatever they call it.
But you gotta think they don't move because like you said, you see it coming. If you move, you have to, at minimum, you have to stand there and get blocked to try to clog a hole up. Or if you don't, you move, you just open the hole up further.
But do you see that wall? No, I'm saying, man, you gotta shift around, move. Don't let the dude just push you into this wall. Break the wall. You gotta break the wall. Like that's common sense. You gotta crash that wall. Counter coming. You gotta crash that wall. Every defensive player, but it's like these, man, I don't know, but I just think it's the way that they run it, they execute that play. Man, they execute, man, and that's all Saquon needed was somebody to execute. But I told you that before too, where it was Saquon. I told you Saquon was gonna be better than Derrick Henry. I told you he was gonna. You see what Derrick Henry team at, and you see what Saquon team at. The difference is game breakers.
So I in that case, right? And speaking about the difference between
Henry, I can catch you at the 5-yard line, and then your team will kick a field goal. Saquon, I ain't, I ain't catching you. It's the difference. Game breaker. It's the difference. One, a tone setter. You know what I'm saying? But not a game breaker. I told you that was going to be the difference between those two, and you see the difference. They both great. They both can run for 2,000 yards. We've seen that. The point is, Saquon is a difference maker, can change the game. In 2 runs from him could be 14 points for your team.
Well, Derrick Henry ain't too far from that, honestly.
I didn't say he was far from it.
Yeah.
I said that would be the difference.
It's just
right?
it's less likely. There's, like you said, it's more likely to get a game breaker run from Saquon. No, not too many people are running him down from behind, as opposed to from Derrick Henry. But Derrick Henry tends to move people with him coming downhill because people are scared to tackle him. Seemingly, I don't know why, but people are scared to tackle him in the gaps.
Because that's a lot. This dude running 20 miles an hour. Like, let's not get it twisted. I mean, I don't know you'll survive. You might survive a hit from a car at 20 miles an hour, but you ain't trying to feel it. You ain't trying to feel it multiple times. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's the difference. The dude running 20 miles an hour. Take nothing away from Derrick Henry. I was just saying the difference in the styles of which they bring to the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel
you're more likely you have it in that situation. If you had the game plan, if you had the game plan for the opportunity or the possibility of this play getting broken, you're going to go with Derrick Henry. I mean, you're going to go with Saquon as opposed to Derrick. And as opposed to if you was coming downhill and you need to pick up 2 yards, you're probably going to go with Derrick Henry as opposed to Saquon Barkley, and basically based on their styles and stuff like that. So I get it, you understand it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Case in point, NFC Championship game against these Commanders. Unreal. It was all. I was so mad. I picked the Commanders. People, I gotta tell y'all.
That was a whole team win though, because the defense stepped up.
But I picked the Commanders to win. Saquon had it over before in the blink of an eye. It was over. It was 14-3. He scored them 2 touchdowns. It was over.
But I mean, so if you look at it, honestly, it wasn't over till after halftime.
No, it was over.
They was creeping on the summer.
They was trying, Trey. Don't get me wrong. They scrapped.
They was throwing them hands with him.
But Saquon put that game over. He proved his point right off the rip. And if you want more of this, what made them scary, what made the Eagles scary in this game was they had a little bit of passing game, which I've been doubting they passing game. And I said, if you get Hurts over 20 passes, then they might be in trouble. He threw like 28 passes and he proved to be all right in that game. Well, let's see what he gonna do against these Chiefs, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like before I get on the Chiefs, before we get into all that, man, I just want to say this about the Washington Commanders. Man, as a Cowboy fan, I hate y'all too, because I see what y'all about to be in the next 4, 5 years, 6 years, or whatever. I see what y'all about to be, and then how we gonna compete with that, man? But it's impressive. I mean, it's not just Jaden Daniels to me; it's the whole squad. Like you said, the Eagles. I like Jalen Hurts, but I don't think Jalen Hurts is that guy. But with what they we were putting Saquon back there, that offensive line, and that defense. What's the guy name, man? Sweat, is that his name?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think his name. Man, young man is always somewhere where he ain't supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But right on time. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to make that play. Like, some of them play. When we get to the Chiefs, this Karlaftis guy, or Kalakis, however you say his name,
he's slowly but surely on the. He's that in between him, Jones, McDuffie, and Reed.
It's like you remember, like, the Baltimore Ravens. They had Ed Reed. They had Ray Lewis. They had Alohi Nada. They had Terrell Suggs.
They had someone at every level.
Man, the Eagles look like that. The Chiefs. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got slaying them dudes on the back end for the Eagles, right? But that front seven, they ain't Chicago Bear front seven. The 85 Bear front seven.
They're Georgia Bulldogs 2 years ago.
But they close to. I hate to say it too, man, but they close to the 2000 whatever it is Raven front seven, like the first one, not the second one, the first one before Ed Reed, before you know what I'm saying, when it was like McAllister and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, when what's his name won the when they had Jason Sehorn.
Yeah, and they had but they had some dogs on that, and it's like the Eagles defense, man, that's impressive. The defense is impressive. But the biggest part that's impressive to me, man, is Soriano know everybody want his job. This dude wasn't supposed to have a job, but he is in the Super Bowl. So how you like that, people? You know what I'm saying? Like, so Eagles fans was calling for his head early. Now they like, oh, we're in the Super Bowl.
Now, going back to the Kansas City Chiefs, right? We just talked about Karlaftis, Jones, McDuffie, Reed, like they have someone at every level from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, what I've seen is the ability to use what you got to get where you need to go. Like Spagno, I don't know, was it Spags or did it become a point? But in the Chiefs game, what I recognize and seen in Buffalo is they found a Huckleberry and they used it. Like Elam was getting toasted. Like he was getting. It didn't make a difference who they put on that side. It was just they lined him up and they put him in his position, and they exposed him, and it was nothing to do. Like that's I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Is that Spags? Did they peep that, or did they notice? Like, oh wow, oh wait, hold up, what we got going on here? Hey, let's put Watson over there. Oh, Watson got him. Like it looked like it just became a situation to where Elam even wasn't prepared. He was shook. The moment was too big for him, or it was just saying he couldn't cover anybody. For the life of me, how do you allow in which my opinion, even though it wasn't a turning, but it really made a difference, is when Worthy runs that little 2-yard slant, you gotta get to his hip. You can't allow any separation. Like you know what I'm saying. Once you gotta get to his hip. You running around like you getting a hedge on the screen and running around and letting them run you off and shade you off, and you give him separation. Now you couldn't keep up with him already. Now he's running that slant with the ball in his hand up the field with like 2 yards of separation between you and him. Like, come on, you didn't recognize that.
It's reputation. Worthy was the fastest guy at the combine. You scared of the speed. See, you already scared. See, I can't play. When I played, it was hard to know that dudes was bigger than me because I was a little something. So it's like, it was. So imagine my surprise when I found out that dudes with twice my size and even twice my ability at times was scared. It's like, what you scared of? Like, see, the fear of the speed. You already toast. You already going to lose right there. Like, you scared of the speed. You saw the scouting report. Now you're not gonna go out there and get your hands on them and get physical with them and try to deter that. You already scared, man. I'm gonna try to do everything I can. It's competition. I'm gonna try to do everything I can to stop you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my job. If I'm on defense, but see, you're scared already by reputation, right? That's why some of them guys. That's why this guy is wide open and can catch every pass to turn around. You know what I mean? Like some teams play Justin Jefferson so soft he could turn around and just catch 7-yard passes, 8-yard passes.
Yeah, and get loose.
I mean, you feel what I'm saying? Because the guy playing 12 yards back. Who you guarding back there? You know what I'm saying? Like, get up, but that comes with confidence in your ability sometimes. Because the coaches don't really regulate. We know how it goes. They don't really regulate the depth that you play on a person. Like if it's man to man, you get your depth or what you feel comfortable with. You feel what I'm saying? Even if it's zone, whatever, you get to the level you think that you can make a play, and you see what these guys do to certain. They did it to Tyreek Hill for years. The word got out about Tyreek when he went to Miami. Right now, if you jam him, he can't do it. Yeah. But you remember his first AFC Championship game against the the Patriots, he only had a couple of plays where he was special because they was physical. They was physical the whole game. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you get physical, sometimes you knock them off. But if you scared to take that challenge, though, right? So
Yeah, you got to understand who you can get physical with, who you can't. Like you're probably not gonna get physical with Hopkins or Juju,
no.
but yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But you can get. You know what I'm saying. I'm very sure Worthy is only so much.
That's what I'm saying.
Be able to control off that
Remember
press.
Wes Welker?
Yeah.
Wes Welker, Julia Edelman, man, they were killers down the field until you put some hands on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And throw their timing off. Now Brady throwing the ball in the dirt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the times New England didn't win with those formulas, that's because they rough Welker up, they rough Edelman up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that with Gronk, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you couldn't do that with Gronk, but you could do that with the other two.
Yeah, you take away his weapons and make it hard for him, and then you know on that's like their bread and butter. When they got Worthy, you already knew what the write on the wall was. This is my quick out, and when it started working, and it's been working, and to continue working, like I said, consistently they run it, and they ran the screen. Got him off him, called separation. Once I saw him go backside, I was like, "What are you doing? That's like going under. That's like going under the screen on Steph Curry. Like you already know what's going to happen. As soon as you take that first step and not split, and you split, you already know what the deal is.
In your face, in your face. Look, so the biggest thing for Buffalo fans, man, I'm a diehard fan, man. So for Buffalo fans, this ain't y'all first time being disappointed. It's always going to happen to y'all. And this time, coaching is y'all problem, man. I said it last year with McDermott when y'all lost at home to the Kansas City Chiefs. I said it then, and I'm going to say it again. McDermott does not know how to coach in the game. He makes the dumbest decision every freaking time. That game, to me, y'all was going to win that game, Buffalo. Y'all was going to win that game. Y'all had the ball, which probably would have been the last drive of the game, and y'all going to go down, and Josh Allen was going to score 7 points. But you know why Josh Allen didn't score 7 points? Because his coach didn't allow him to score 7 points. Case in point, when you out-coach, Trey, every time the Chiefs needed a player in that game, number 15 had the ball in his hands, whether he ran it or whether he threw it, he made the decision.
But let's be fair, right? Let's be fair, right? Josh had the ball on a couple of fourth down plays. I mean, on third down plays and 3rd and 1s, and he didn't deliver. Like
no, that's because the coaching said run. Listen to me. The coaching said line up
and run try to push
this BS tush push BS. If you drop back, give him a second. Let him pick which way he want to go. Get that 250-something pounds moving from that shotgun position. Who's stopping him from 1 yard? I mean, I'm saying play to your strengths. Stop this dumb stuff. Play to your strengths. This dude been doing it his whole career, running you over like you. He like Cam Newton. You're not stopping the 1 yard if you give him let him pick which way he want to go. Just hike the ball to him and say it's a quarterback draw. You pick which way you want to go. And watch him pick up that first down. You take away his abilities when you like, oh, we just gonna try to push you over. No, let me play to my strengths. See,
although I did think the last time I did think they got a legit first down. Speculation, of course.
I didn't think they got it.
You didn't? Okay.
Okay.
And then of course with the 4th and 5, I know me and Bishop talked about it after that, in which he said that was a hard play for Kincaid. I, in a sense, disagree. Kincaid almost caught the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, like, it was catchable. I look at the ball, it was catchable. He came back to the ball. He got and this what's funny is he didn't get a hand on it. He got a bicep on it. If he could have closed his arms. So I'm looking at, like, how is it that your arms, where are your hands at in this situation? Like, you know what I'm saying?
People go always put it, and I saw a lot of the backlash that he took.
Yeah.
Kincaid took. That was on the coach, man. You lost that game on 3rd down. This is why. Why are you throwing a screen pass on 3rd down? I don't even understand. You basically playing for 4th down. Screen passes make it how many percent of the time? You need 10 yards. Why ain't they running route? See what I'm saying? You're not playing to your strength. This is why I blame McDermott. because you're not playing to your strengths right there. You got a quarterback that just ran a few plays before that, ran 10, 12 yards for a first down. Spread these people out. See if they in zone, man,
But
whatever. Give your team a chance to make that play. You trying to surprise them, not thinking that the players on the other side. Kalafkas made the best play of the game when he made that play right there. That play right there shows you that a difference between coaches and the players too. So I'm not throwing no screen pass to Amari Cooper.
If you look at that series, right, in the last series in which Buffalo had, they lucked up, right? Because you had I don't know who the pass was to, but you had I think it was Snead that stopped the guy on second down, or was it third down when he could have got the first. He didn't get the first, and then of course, it was on second down. They stopped, or whatever. No, it was on third down. He ran the pass. He got the screen because at one point there was no passing. It was just, and which I don't know why they went away for that. Even in the fact of what we talk about on the fourth down, where was James Cook? Cook was cooking. He was giving them that work. They didn't have an answer for Cook. Cook was averaging roughly 9 yards a carry in the second half. So where was Cook at in these instances? But okay, Cook's not in the game. They wasn't doing a lot of passing to begin with, or they was doing those little quick screens to where it's like it's a snap, he comes out and he gives it and let them operate and let them work. In the one in which the series in which he got stopped, the last time he got stopped on fourth down, I don't know, was it Kalafkas or was it whoever, but they threw the screen pass to the I guess the tight end, I can't, or one of the and he got stopped before, like he got tackled, which it looked like that could have been the first down, but he got tackled, which set up the fourth down. And then, of course, in the fourth down, what ended up happening is they try to run, and then he gets stuffed. And, like, I don't know why in those instances was he running like that. It's like he was running scared, or you should be expecting to get hit in that point. Like, that 1 yard shouldn't have been that hard.
Remember that one time he ran it, he fumbled the ball. Like, at the end of the play, he fumbled the ball.
When he jumped over.
When he jumped over, he was cautious with the ball after that. But my point is, the coach should not put – you got this tremendous player, man. Give him an opportunity. Same thing with Baltimore. You don't use Lamar right in situations. See, the Chiefs, I've been telling you this all year. They are the best situational team in football. So you can't let it come down to a situation because they're going to beat you in the situation. Like, you can't let it come down to a situation because they are going – like, Kalafkas made that play on Amari Cooper when he didn't have to. He was supposed to bite. See, the whole thing was to trick. Oh, we're going to trick him and we're going to throw this screen pass. Stop it. These dudes are prepared. I'm prepared. I came to play. So now your whole season come down to a 4th and 5. And the crazy part about the 4th and 5 to me was Josh Allen did everything that he could under the circumstances of the coaching that he gets. Sometimes you only as good,
Well, it was like they said, it was legitimately a good of course, Spagnuolo.
Man, did you see that? He put the pass on the money. Put all that pressure
off his back foot in the press.
Man, how good
that's why I said, like, I'm not saying that it was Kincaid's fault for Kincaid. You could have caught the ball. Like, there was nothing, like, there was nothing there.
Hey, this dude, I thought it was nothing there. I'm like, he just
because I was wondering. Yeah, because I looked at it, and when I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, it was a last-ditch effort." I was like, "It's a last-ditch effort." But then when they ran the replay, I was like, "You legitly had a legit." Outside the fact that you was coming back to the ball, and that's what Bishop said. Bishop's he's like, "You can't." It's a hard pass because Kincaid's coming back to the ball. He loses his footing. But I was like, even with him losing his footing and coming back to the ball, he put a bicep on the ball, like he curled.
The fact that this dude put the ball,
it was catchable. And it would have put them at minimum, it would have put them in field goal range, but it would have been a first down with time left.
So you can't put what I'm saying is you can't put it on Kincaid. You can't put it on just Josh. Man, these dudes did. I mean, like Kincaid, you should have caught that. Same way Andrews should have caught the one the week before or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You should have caught that, Kincaid. But at the same time, Josh Allen gave them everything he had, man. He gave them a chance. You cannot say he didn't give them You know what I'm saying?
That he did. Honestly, he did
He
legitimately. Because like he said, like I was about to say, Spagnolia was like magnificent in
great.
the hiding, the masking of the blitz, in which it wasn't no blitz until that blitz, and it's going to be a quarterback blitz on the side in which Josh Daniels
That
throws
cat
to.
blitz, baby. That cat
So,
blitz is Spagnolia is great with that cat blitz, man.
so it's like he knew if anything, in my opinion, that was going to be he was coming that side, or even if he didn't know he was coming to that side. Well, yeah, he had to know he was coming to that side. I mean, let's take in consideration that he's a right-handed passer, so he knew he was coming to that side. The rollout caused him to have to get rid of it. He tried to dump it. I mean, like you said, again, we talk about it. He tried to get it to him. He just happened. He missed. He took a shot and he missed. Kincaid, you could have became a star. If someone said it was equal to that, the Tyree catch, and it was nowhere close to it. It was a catchable ball.
But he should have caught it. Kincaid should have caught the ball. We all understand that. But the fact that Josh Allen was able to get that pass off and he threw it to somebody was unbelievable. Man,
At that mentality, he would have caught the ball.
So where we gonna go with all these good man? Like, you got some good quarterbacks. Everybody can't win. It's hard to see somebody have to lose, and it's hard for Buffalo. Like, I know I picked the Chiefs to win, but I picked the Chiefs to win because I knew I didn't like McDermott. To be honest, I like Andy Reid more than I like McDermott. I'm like, Andy Reid's gonna coach a good game. What is McDermott gonna do? It's gonna take him to coach the best game of his life to win this game. And years prior, the last few years, they've only fallen short because of the coach. It hasn't been because of the play necessarily. I dog Stephon Diggs, but that didn't have nothing to do with it, man. It's the play calling when you call certain plays and how you make, like at certain points in that game, what I didn't understand is, how at this point you've played Mahomes enough. You played him 4 times in the playoffs. At this point, you should know some of his tendencies. How is he still able to move when he want to move and do whatever? And you played this guy multiple times, and you've learned absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You've learned as a team, Buffalo. You've learned absolutely nothing on how to stop Patrick Mahomes. I don't even understand it. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you guys have learned absolutely nothing. They know your tendencies, but you don't know. Spags know your tendencies, but y'all don't know none of that. Like, wow. Like, and I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes is not special because I told you this was gonna happen. They going for the 3-peat. I told you this was gonna happen in the AFC. Disappointed in the NFC. Thought we was gonna see somebody different, but it is what it is. Detroit Lions, where y'all at? All these teams that people was hyping up during the season, not the season to wind down. Where y'all at? I'm most disappointed in where I used to live, the Minnesota Vikings. I'm so disappointed in y'all. Like, but I'm only disappointed for a brief moment because y'all did have Sam Darnold. Like, in the end of the day, he was playing out of his mind. Kid had his best season ever. You know what I'm saying? He's playing out of his mind. But
so before we even transition out of NFL for the most part, what is your thoughts, right? Particularly you in back on your Cowboys about them hiring Matt Eberflus as the DC, and now the Arizona Cardinals former offensive line coach Clayton Adams as offensive coordinator. Even though Clayton Adams is not expected to call plays, as we just talked about, is going to be on Schottenheimer. What do you think about your big three? Schottenheimer, Adams, Eberflus. And I don't know who y'all other aspect, the special teams coordinator is going to be.
I already told you what I thought. The Brian Schottenheimer is, and it just got worse. Eberflus, defensively, I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I'm almost, I'm loyal, so I'm not gonna do it. But
I was about to say, you ready to go back home? You ready to go back home?
Not home, not Houston today. But I'm like, man, I'm almost gonna trade in my team. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm finna go for it. I might as well be a Jacksonville Jaguar fan right now, the way we're running this organization. I might as well, for real. I might as well be an Arizona Cardinal fan. They don't never win nothing. I might, they ain't never won nothing. I might as well be. I mean, seriously, like that's where it is right now with Dallas, man. Is it's so much untogetherness. I mean, I don't even know what we're doing. Like maybe only Jerry and his, immediate circle know what they do, man. Because it don't make no sense. Eberflus failed where he was. You know what I'm saying? Schottenheimer unproven. You feel what I'm saying? And whoever this offensive line coach is for the Cardinals, you talking about the same Cardinals who quarterback was hurt for a long time. I mean, you talking. I'm just saying. You talk about the same. See, that's what I mean by right now, man. I don't know what Dallas is doing, and it's not even cool.
And on the flip side of that, of course, Aaron Glenn has already went forth. He's hired Wilkes as his defensive coordinator.
See, there's a hire I could.
He hired Wilkes, and then
Smart guy.
And then he's taking assistant from the Detroit Lions in Tanner Estrange to become the offensive coordinator. Of course, we don't know what it's going to look like when we talk about the offensively because we don't know is their quarterback going to be Aaron Rodgers? Is he going to stay? Or what that is going to be. But like you said, you can see it's like there's differences. Like we're going to be interested to see all that. Like we see Robert Saleh has gone back to the 49ers as a defensive
Where he belonged, right? He went back home, right?
He went back home. So we're going to see how that goes. It was funny when I seen that. I thought to myself, is McDaniels going to go back home? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how I was looking for McDaniels in down in Miami. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
so it's like, hey,
so look.
We opened the door.
Remember when they was Dallas rumors was they was kicking the tires on Robert Saleh. See, if he was the defensive coordinator, I'm with it.
Mm-hmm.
Head coach, no.
Okay.
Defensive coordinator, I'm with it. Man, look, we all got to play our positions. You feel what I'm saying? Like we all got to play our positions. Like you got to understand. Hey, every Dave Chappelle needs what's his name, the Donnell Rollins, and you need the Ashley Larrys. You know what I'm saying? You need everything else to go with it to make the show pop, to make the thing hot, man. So it's like, hey, learn to play your position and play that position well, and then you step up.
So additionally, of course, we already know out of all the 6 or 7 coaching hires, there's still one job that remains. Mike McCarthy removes his name from any type of being picked up because he said he's going to wait for the 2026 coaching next rotation, which is interesting when you say that. So you're telling me that basically you expect to be in play for a job in 2026 because even you see some sweetness out there or, or whatever the case may be. So we're going to get to that in a second. But, of course, like you said, now the New Orleans Saints is the only team that has yet to hire anybody. We've seen the Las Vegas Raiders took on what's going on there? So you see what's going on. So you see the Saints. I mean, not the Saints. That Pete Carroll's now the Las Vegas Raiders head coach. Of course, has always been out there. I wonder which route is he going to go? Is he going to go pick up Russ and kick the tires on Russ as the stopgap bridge quarterback in this essence? Do they go after Sam Darnold in that case to see if Sam Darnold can erect what he just did last season, like any of that type of stuff, in which I think those are the top 2 because the in-state, I really, in my opinion, honestly think the better bet is, let's say maybe someone like Sam Darnold to go to like Pittsburgh or to go to the Giants, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Neighbors is a pretty good receiver, I don't know what else they can put there. But I mean, but I think in my opinion, I thought about it. I think Russ going to Las Vegas is a better bet only because the expectation is not for Russ to be the franchise quarterback. He's just going to be a stopgap. So you have to. Darnold has more tread on his tires left than Russ does. So bringing Darnold there and bringing in potentially your next franchise quarterback isn't going to doesn't bode well. But I think you can get away with that with bringing Russ maybe a year and a half to get your whoever's the pick is going to be in this year's draft, or to sit up and set it up to where the pick in the following draft, it might not be this year, it might be next year, in which you get and where you put yourself in position and let it work from there. But I think if they're going for it all, then of course Darnold is the ideal. Like, okay, are we gonna go with Darnold, see if we can get him the whole 3 years?
If you the Raiders, no, you draft a quarterback. Pete Carroll, I ain't got time to play with him. Pete Carroll, not a spring chicken.
Yeah, spring chicken. No matter how
man, I ain't got time to play around. I gotta go and I gotta get this jumping right away. So you draft your quarterback, and until then, to me, the most familiar name would be Russell Wilson. But the way I would see you not going with, I would never go with Sam Darnold. This is why. We saw what he gonna do, man. He's scared. You can't be in my huddle if you're scared, man, and be the lead guy. The guy is scared. He was out of his mind scared in his final game against the Rams or whatever. He was
2 games.
You know what I mean? You feel what I'm saying? He was scared. Them 2 games, he was scared. Like you can't play with a scary guy, man. You know what I'm saying? How they say scary money don't make money or something. Whatever they be saying, and you know what I mean? Like I'm just saying it don't make money. So you can't be scared.
And then you still got
Sam Darnold would be out of there for me, unless maybe if you bring him back to the New York Jets to boost that real quick. I think that'll be. But real truly, if you the Raiders, man, you need something that say Raiders. So go draft you somebody that say Raiders. I mean, your quarterback should be Jim Plunkett. Your quarterback. I mean, you feel what I'm saying? Like you had names like that. Like your quarterback should be. So you got to go. I'm thinking Shedeur Sanders would fit great there under Pete Carroll. I think he'll be successful. But if you are going to go with a quarterback that's already out there, go to Justin Fields. I would go to Justin. I think Pete Carroll could do more with Justin Fields and because he would be what Russell Wilson was when he was young, except now his arm is still fresh. All he got to do is get somebody to say, let it go. Throw it, young fella. He got to get the encouragement to let the ball go. And I think Justin Fields in a Raider uniform would be – man, that would be, especially with Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll can work with a Justin Fields more than a Sam Darnold or trying to resurrect something with Russ. Because he let Russ, he the one messed Russ' career up, by the way. Let Russ cook. Yeah, Russ did a whole lot of cooking without the Legion of Boom.
So when you look at it, it's like the musical chairs in the NFL is going to be crazy, because you still have the potential for maybe even though he's still in the contract, possibility of Aaron Rodgers to go somewhere else. Kirk Cousins is probably a option to be out there.
Nobody wants the Saints job. Nobody wants the Saints job. I wonder why that is. New Orleans, why nobody wants your job, man? I wonder why that is. You know what I mean? No prominent name wants that job. Like, you ain't got nobody left. Who you got left?
I think they're going to end up choosing Kafka, man.
No. He's in the Super Bowl right now. Kellen Moore is in the Super Bowl right now. Kellen Moore is in the Super Bowl right now.
If they haven't made a hire, they're probably waiting no more.
Right. If you're the Saints, if you can hold out to get that interview, you got your coach and you got your future. But if it's not him, y'all doomed. You know
do you think Kellen Moore can turn Carr's future in New Orleans around?
Who said anything about Carr?
Carr ain't going nowhere, bro. They cash strapped. They have to stay with Carr.
I don't need cash if I can make a couple of trades and get a decent pick in the draft. All these quarterbacks ain't going top 10 in the draft. I can get somebody. I can get somebody in the draft. Like,
who comes to New Orleans and make a difference?
I can get somebody cheap in the draft right now. You feel what I'm saying? It's a couple of quarterbacks I think in the draft that could probably they're gonna do better than Carr. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen what Carr can do. I even think that with the right coach, I think Spencer Rattler could do something with the right coach.
And he's already there. Yeah.
I mean, you feel what I'm saying? I think the right coach can come in. Man, it's the mentality of the coaches and it's what they bring to the table sometimes. It's like, it's going to take, the best coach on the planet ain't going to get Carr to be better than what he already been in his 10-something year career already, man.
But if you think about it, Carr used to cook in Oakland, in Las Vegas, in Los Angeles. He used to put up numbers, but
he used to, but he still puts up numbers. I mean, nothing wrong. He's an NFL quarterback. I'm not mad at that. What I'm saying is, if I want to win with a guy like McVay, take McVay. I thought McVay was out of his mind at first when he made that swap, Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff. Jared Goff already had played in the Super Bowl for you. Matthew Stafford was on teams that was 0-16, 2-14. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy,
but Matthew Stafford was used to put up tremendous numbers on those teams.
But what I'm saying is that you would think Jared Goff was more. So it was crazy, but he takes Matthew Stafford and his ability to understand, and then boom, he wins the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford been living great off that, right? Take Jared Goff on the other end of that. We thought Jared Goff was toast. He found himself in Detroit. He actually played decent. But guess what? It's just like McVay thought. You still ain't won the big one. You still ain't going to win that one. See what I'm saying? So even though Jared Goff looks good to the naked eye, McVay knew he wasn't going to be able to win with that guy. Period. You know what I'm saying? Period. He knew he wasn't going to be able to win with that guy. So I got to get a guy that I can win with. I'm not saying that Jared Goff won't win with Dan Campbell. He might be Dan Campbell's guy. Just like Donovan McNabb was Andy Reid's guy, which before we get off the NFL, that right there, he was his guy. And they went to 5 NFC championships together and 1 Super Bowl together. He just couldn't get it done with that guy. So you say Andy Reid can't get it done. He found his guy. Belichick was a Browns coach and sucked. And Bledsoe was decent. But then when Bledsoe went down, he got a Tom Brady. He got his guy. All these guys, Bill Walsh had Joe Montana. All I'm saying is that you get your guy and you can rock out a lot of times in these coaching situations. But you got to get your guy. Not the guy that the GM wants you to coach. Not the guy that the fans are popular behind. You got to get your guy.
So who do you think the guy is for Pittsburgh?
For Pittsburgh, it's up for grabs, man, because Ben Roethlisberger left some big shoes to fill, and that's what they're not looking at. Ben Roethlisberger you can't just replace a Hall of Fame quarterback if you don't have a plan. See, it goes back to the coaching, man. Tomlin didn't have a plan after Ben Roethlisberger, and now you start to see it. So you start to wonder, how good of a coach are you? You had no plan. You knew this guy was aging out, getting hurt every year, and on his way out, and you had no plan to replace him. You had Mason Rudolph on your roster playing behind him. You never had nothing in the pipeline developing. We saw the 49ers with so many quarterbacks one while. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you doing? Like, you got quarterbacks popping, and they all look. Sam Darnold, prime example. You moving on. I mean, you feel what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is, you got so many quarterbacks, and you developing them. I mean, Mike Tomlin has yet to do that, man. So who knows? We've only seen Ben Roethlisberger, who wasn't drafted by this guy. Ben Roethlisberger was Bill Cowher's guy. We've never seen what Tomlin has. So that's up to Mike Tomlin to decide what's good for him, because we've never seen it. I mean, I know people going to bash me for saying that about Mike Tomlin, but it's the truth. It wasn't his guy. And he piggybacked off another guy's guy, and that was successful enough for him to be in the AFC Championship games, to win a Super Bowl, but he hasn't shown you he could do it, that he could put a quarterback out there that could play. He hasn't shown you that one time yet.
It's crazy how those nuances go. Like you see one thing, you would sit up and think, like, okay, where's history when we look and we was like, oh, Deshaun is going to Cleveland, he's going to have this, that, the third, and then he get there and it's like, oh no, this ain't the thing. That's not it. It just depends, like you say, who can unlock that stuff amongst these players, and that's why I look at like who can, like, if Stephani got his hands on Fields, do we see a different Cleveland team? Like, you know what I'm saying? You look at that and take it in consideration. Like, what goes on? If Cousins goes to Pittsburgh, do we see a reerection of Cousins if he was to step and get there? Like, it's crazy when you look at it. Darnold, Does he go down with Joe Judge, and does he get and does he continue his resurrection to where now he's saying he's looking completely different, or he looks the same if he's in with the Giants as opposed to the Jets, or if he spins the block and goes back to New York, do we see something different? Does Aaron Rodgers go and put on silver and black, connect with Pete Carroll, Las Vegas, and now we got with Aaron Rodgers is putting up numbers to where he's competing, which becomes interesting because it's the same place in which Devontae Adams had just left. It's like it's all crazy. We don't know.
Hey, look, Aaron Rodgers, it's one job for you right now: retire. Man, you're ruining your legacy. You're ruining your legacy. You're ruining your legacy at this point. Your mouth that overloaded your behind, or whatever. Like your mouth that overloaded your behind. Dude. You're not gonna win another one. You're not gonna even make a team decent. You're not gonna make a team better. I'm sorry to say it.
So
you're not gonna make a team better. Your last two teams, you didn't make them better. You made them worse. You out of there. It's time to go.
Two more things so we can transition into the round ball, of course. One thing being T. Higgins. Names like T. Higgins, Brock Purdy are coming up because it's payday for the most part in some degree. Brock Purdy technically has another year, but I mean, what message are you sending if you let him play on uncommitted on a deal in which he has no money or no extension or anything like that, potentially get hurt? Now you're looking at he doesn't have any future. But T. Higgins, who can play. I know a lot of people have a thought of what that looks like if T. Higgins was in Washington with the Commanders, McLaurin and Higgins.
Dallas, you better not let that happen.
Dallas and
if that man hits the market, if he's on the market and he's a free agent, man, you better pony up the dough, Jerry. Pony up the dough for some players, man. Like stop.
That might look good for Dak, huh? Higgins and CD, Higgins and Lamb.
Hey, if you're not going to invest in running backs,
well, they expect them to pick up Genty.
Huh?
They expect them to pick up Genty first round.
That's what they're saying, but man, I don't know if they're going to really.
I ask you this question: like Genty, or would you prefer Genty or Scatterboo in your Dallas system?
Okay, for my squad, if I had to choose, I would probably take the Scatterboo, but that guy,
really?
But I got no knock against Genty except for that look that I saw in his playoff game where he looked discouraged. Man, you got all this ability and this talent. Hopefully you get past that. I mean, but just because of that, like I said, man, I can't deal with the, like, man, you got to be all in. You got to ride. Like
it was someone who was talking to what's his name, Gordon the third. I can't remember.
I think he quit a little bit.
Who Genty?
Yeah, I think he quit a little bit in that game. I think they took it out of him. I think
Genty took it more of a. I think Genty has more of the DNA of a cowboy as opposed to Scatterboo. I think Scatterboo is more like a 49er type.
No, that young man gave his all, and he was hurt, and he was out of breath. He was all gassed and see. That's the guy I want. This is what Bill Belichick wins with. Right there. See, that's the guy I want. I want the guy that's out of breath, tired. He gave everything, got no more to say. He was the MVP of the game and they lost. That's the guy I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't want this flashy guy posing for pictures, this, that, whatever. Oh, I'm on the highlight reel, and then when it comes down to it, you ain't got the heart. I want that guy with the heart, man. That guy showed all his heart. That young man he gave everything he had. Yo, that's the guy you want in your locker room right there. The guy that's going to give everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, Genty, like I said, he looked different. He didn't look like he wanted to give everything. Otherwise, he'd have kept running. Guess what? Back in the days, I saw Barry Sanders gain -2 yards, people, negative whatever in a playoff game. On however many carries he had. The Green Bay Packers stuffed him that day. They came out to stop him that day. That was all Detroit had. But my point is this. As many times they gave Barry the ball, he never ducked. He played Barry Sanders. He ran. He took every blow. He didn't quit. I saw Emmitt Smith run with like a dislocated shoulder. I seen Brett Favre play with dislocated fingers on his throwing hand. See, go all out. Like, if you ain't going all out, then I don't want you.
So,
you know,
our transition, which probably should have back end, but our transition, what do you think about, for the most part, about, and when we came on and what you had the words to say about it, the exposition games of the All-Star games, i.e. the Pro Bowl, which is the transition end of the year for the NFL, into the NBA and their All-Star game, which is having a new look. Do you
I'm
think
sick of
it's
the
about
NBA.
time to cut him out?
I'm finna be with Charles Barkley for a minute. I'm sick of the NBA. He ain't never said this, by the way. And if he did, I ain't see it. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna be my Charles Barkley for a minute, man. Look, I'm sick of the NBA with all these transitions, with all these we gotta do. Man, I'm finna be like Bishop in a minute. I'm just finna say it, man. Your shit ain't popping. You gotta go through all these transitions. Your shit ain't popping. It ain't popping because you don't put emphasis on the players to make it pop. For real, I don't like this Silver guy as the commissioner. David Stern made these dudes play. David Stern made these dudes earn their money, man. David Stern made them dudes come and show up and dress nice, do this, that, whatever. This guy, I don't care how you dress outside of the game. I'm not saying that. You ain't got to wear a suit. But, man, you got to come and be about business in a business thing. Y'all are stinking up a business that people like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all the names, the Dr. J's, man, this is embarrassing. Young people, it's embarrassing what y'all doing to this game. And for LeBron James to be the elder statesman and ambassador and not saying nothing about it and calling these dudes out, what does it say about him at this point? Like, seriously, like, people saw this coming, man. Like, this is ridiculous. This is why I'm not a LeBron James fan. When Mike was in the league, these dudes was on it. Everybody wanted to be the best. Everybody was doing their best. Yo, I was hearing they talk about starting another league, a competition league for Euro players. And now the NBA talking about they gonna start a Euro league. What do you mean you need another league? What? Because this one sucks. Your viewership's in the toilet. It is, man. Yo, I love the game, and I'm still going to. I try to watch. I try to deal. Man, it's only so much stuff as a fan you could deal with. Players picking when they want to play. I'm not going to even get into the Jimmy Butler situation yet, as far as his situation, because I think he's too good of a person and a player to be doing what he's doing to prove a point. I mean, you feel what I'm saying? You ain't worth that much money no more. You're 35 years old. You ain't won no championship. See, this is what I'm saying. This is where the game is messed up. This dude is acting like he LeBron James. He acting like he's Steph Curry. He acting like he won all this stuff. For real. Do you see what I'm saying? How out of control it is? This dude acting like you know what I'm saying? He acting like he didn't bust his behind to get where he was. That he didn't have a jump shot when he came in the game. He acting like he had all these tremendous talent. You weren't that guy. You've had to work twice as hard as these people. So why stop? What I'm saying is, why stop? Whatever beef you got going on with Riley, that shouldn't change you as a person. Show up for your teammates, man. Ride for the people who you said you was in on. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying roll over for them and play dead. I'm saying, dog, all of a sudden you acting like going to 2 championships and losing 2 championships has them blown your head up like you just this great. Ain't nobody won with Jimmy Butler on their roster.
So when you look at it, and you just said something that was key to I thought about Pat Riley, right? Like Pat Riley's like you said, elder statements. Pat Riley is that dude. Like Pat Riley is showing like this isn't that league in which y'all think it is, or this ain't the team in which you could come do that to. And which I'm very sure he knew. I mean, we knew that Jimmy Butler has basically done this in every organization in which he has been a part of. When he came down to ready to be out, he has done this exactly. He's gone on. And he's become and becomes boisterous and basically lets it be known, I want out. But I don't think he did it in Chicago, but he, of course, in Minnesota, of course, in Philly, and now in Miami. But he just ran up against the wrong person that wasn't going to allow that to be the case or what was going to happen. So, but saying going back to that, like it has been allowed, or it has always been conversations and talks that at this point that the NBA has become the player-led league, and the players are allowed to do what it is that they want. You see the differences. We see all the top names in which we know are currently out for these accolades and awards, which in essence messes up their money, because at most points you get bonuses for getting first team, second team, MVP, or any of the postseason accolades, or getting certain points, a certain pot, first time All Star, all that type of stuff, or All Star game, or this, that, third. All those things are out because now, of course, you have to meet a certain criteria to be eligible for these awards and be eligible for this. And now that's not the case. So I think you see to where Silver is trying to do his best to be as middle of the road as he can, giving something to the league, as well as keeping some type of ingenuity. It's not the same league when Stern was doing it. That's obvious. And it's not going to be, because it's different. You have a different, the mindsets are different. No one thinks about the game being played the way they used to play it back then.
Well, wait till they see their next CBA and they see what kind of money they got to divvy up after they losing all these viewerships and people not paying attention. Watch how that makes a difference, man.
That's CBA, the next CBA.
like you gotta understand, it's gonna go back the other way. This is what I'm saying about Silver, and I'm just gonna say this about Silver, and I'm gonna leave Silver alone. But man, look, you tried to change the game and you tried to do too much. It's good to have the players' input. It's good to have the players' knowledge and all that different stuff, but it's still a business. So if I'm a player in a league that's a business, if I'm a worker who am I looking out for? See, you gotta know that the player is only looking out for themselves. Each individual player. That's why they got a players' union to look out for the players collectively. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, do you feel what I'm saying? See, you saying the players got too much power or too much control. It's a players' league. See, you should have saw that coming. The players only about what you see with Jimmy Butler kicking and screaming. My man Ice Trey talk about, now he getting trade on the All-Star games and all this different stuff. The All-Star snubs and all. The players, like they should be. I'm an individual player. I'm looking out for myself when it comes to business. Duh. Did you not know that was going to happen? But here's my problem with the NBA. David Stern knew how to market players. This guy don't know how to market players. Like right now, in this climate, you're still marketing LeBron James in his 20th whatever year, and then Steph Curry in his 15, 16, 17 year, however many. Anyway, these old dudes. You got all these young players, and they're not on your marquee. You tried the Joker thing. You tried the Giannis thing. But then you see that these European players, they only out for one thing, the money, and to prove that they better than these U.S. guys 1 year. I ain't got to be better than you no more than that. I've accomplished everything in my lifetime coming from where I came from. Like, do you feel what I'm saying? And then the NBA players that you pick, that you say you want to put on top and this, that, whatever, you tried Zion, he didn't pan out. See, it's bad selection. You tried Zion, he didn't pan out. You feel what I'm saying? Then Ja Morant was next up, but you saw his trouble. I mean, I'm saying, then you get to Anthony Edwards. Oh, he's full of shenanigans. He's not even serious. Like, for real, you can't take these guys serious. It's the onus on the players, man, the U.S. players. You need to bring it back to when it was proud. Remember, when I was coming up, it was hoop dreams. Now these dudes, now they all feel entitled. Like, yo, I'm there, and this is it. I don't have to win championships. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to earn my money. What type of life is that? Like, I don't have to earn it. They already gave it to me. I don't have to earn it. See, that's the difference, is that before they had to earn their money. Now they giving you the money. Before you had to earn it. Before they didn't pay you. See, before they paid you on what you did. They didn't pay you on your projection of what you worth or whatever. No, they paid you for what you did. And then if you got any incentives after that, you know what I'm saying, you had to research. Now they give you the money before. So now why should you try? I wouldn't try either. Let me tell you, people. I'm one of them. So I understand what they doing. Like, I'm not one of them, but you know what I mean? Man, if you're going to give me $20 million up front, then yeah, man, my ankle always bad. My hamstring always pulled. I pulled my stuff at the club dancing last night, man. I ain't finna go out there and play. I got the money. I don't have to do nothing. It's already mine. I don't have to do nothing. So that's where the game at. Like, see, they didn't look at those factors, and people don't like to admit that kind of stuff, but it's true. So I'm sick of these young dudes talking about, oh, I love this game. No, you don't. Because every way you showing you don't love it. And I'm not saying every single one of them. I'm saying every way you showing you don't love it. You don't love that game, man. The ones that I seen before, that's why us old school people love the ones that we seen before, because we knew they loved it. Because we knew they got paid a lot less and took a lot more injuries and a lot more risk with their time and their lives and stuff out there on the court. Dudes was getting clothesline. Dudes was getting elbow. You had to want to take a Shaq elbow. I mean, seriously. Like, I'm just saying, you had to want to play. These dudes don't want to play, man. Hey, yo, and I defend them, why would they? If you're gonna give me the money, Trey. If you're gonna give me everything up front, then what I gotta prove to you? Nothing. I already proved it. I got here and I got the bag. I don't need nothing else. Listen to your rap music. They tell you on the raps exactly how these young people are looking at it.
So when you look at it, right, though, and I'm going to play anti-advocate to what you're saying. Yes, they have the money, but you have things to where, like we just talked about. So one of the reasons I think is hard to market now is because everyone can be a marketer now, right? Everyone can market themselves in this day and age. So you don't need the league to put you on the pedestal, because you can put yourself on the pedestal and you can make a way for yourself via your audience and who wants to see and speak to you specifically, and it doesn't have to be engaged by wait for the league to do it. So that's one difference. But now, like you were just saying, when you take in consideration these players are individuals, right, or have individual goals and stuff they want to meet. So what about when you have situations like the snubs, like we're talking about the NBA All-Star and all that type of stuff, accolade, the snubs when you came down to it. So now what you have, of course, is players like Devin Booker, who now, because he's a snub, he wants to talk about, yes, he's open for the expansion of the draft roster, of the NBA All-Star roster. So it's interesting, like how now y'all come up and y'all want to speak up because now it affects you. When it wasn't affecting you, it wasn't even nowhere on your wheelhouse, on your radar. So now you talk about, now you want to have the expansion of the expansion of the rosters to help. So where in this case, maybe someone like Devin Booker is a all-star if there's expansion, which it could be. I can understand it. Like people start to say 12 roster spots when a regular NBA roster is 15, but this again is an exposition game. The expectation isn't that everyone's going to play. If you put up a 15 to 17 man roster, that's not going to happen. But it happens in the aspect of how the league is setting up the All-Star game. You can get 17, that which just becomes 34, but now you have to eliminate the addition of putting the All-Star players in. But if you let the Rising Star game go back to being a Rising Star game specifically, and they do their thing during their time frame, and now you add the 17 players on each side, now you get your 34 man, where you get your roster to where it comes out to be, you can do 8 teams, 4 teams of 8, 32 man roster. You can do 4 teams of 8 and get the same thing with all the NBA people who are not in the who are in that other game. So it's doable, I think, in that aspect to where they can line it up like that.
Devin Booker, your team is like 2 games over 500. What impact are you having on your team even in the league? None. So all that talk about you being an all-star snub, you never was snubbed on the all-star. You ain't doing nothing. Let me tell you, back in the days, man, see, this is what I'm saying. People, learn something. I'm going to use the GOAT. Michael Jordan was on a sorry team. He was on a sorry Bulls team. Do you know why he was an all-star? Because he averaged 38 points. He did something tremendous on a sorry team. He was averaging almost 40. You know what I'm saying? His first few years in the league. I'm just saying, think about that. He averaged, 37 one year? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what I'm saying is he was doing all-star shit. Do all-star shit, and you'll be on the all-star team. Devin Booker, you ain't doing all-star shit.
Because What's
You
the
ain't doing
name doing?
all-star
Is
shit. You
on a
play
wax
with Kevin
team.
Durant. You averaging 20. What are you averaging? 23 points a game. The same thing that Kevin Durant is averaging. Man, y'all averaging the same amount of points. You ain't doing nothing special. That's
So
not
think
special.
about it. LaMelo Ball is doing all-star stuff, as well as Trey Young is doing all-star stuff, and both of them got snubbed.
Trey Young leading the league in assists. Now I feel his gripe. Like what I gotta do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel that's different. He leading the league. That's different than just being a Devin Booker that ain't doing nothing. Like what I'm saying is that's a difference. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. This guy's leading the league. He's leading the league. He should be in the All-Star game.
And what's his name? Ball is in the top 4 in scoring and with something else. He's basically they're both playing, but I mean they both playing. Yeah,
Booker
those are snubs.
What I'm saying is the difference, Trey. Booker is not being snubbed. These other guys got legitimate gripes. This guy, Booker, has no gripe. These other guys got a gripe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do something tremendous to be an all-star. At least I thought. Or the fans like you, right? Sometimes you get picked because the fans like you. Like, that happens.
So what's interesting, right? Is when they look at it, when it came down to it, the coaches pick the reserves.
Yeah, the reserves.
So it's like, so it's like this is all being made because the coach picks the reserves. Like, this is because the coach didn't want you in.
It's because the coach said whatever. But I think the problem with Trey Young is durability and consistency, man. I think that's the problem with Trey Young. I mean, we know his past history, so we know other coaches is looking at the situation. His past crimes are held against him, man. Trey Young. I think that's his problem, and I think LaMelo Ball, they just not familiar with him. You know what I mean?
What's going on, Taddy? What's going on, my brother? What's cracking with you, man?
That's what I think. I think they just not familiar with him. Enough because we haven't seen enough of LaMelo Ball, like a long picture because he be hurt so much. So I think that hurts him in the coaching realms when they picking stuff, man. Like, yo, this dude ain't, but these guys been here. Sometimes you reward the guy. Sometimes you reward the guy that's been the more durable the last 2-3 years if you're a coach, right? Like, this guy showed up every game. This guy played, and this guy ain't hardly played. Like, you can't blame him for injury, but I'm saying, like, if I seen you play more, if I got more film on you, I'm taking you over this guy that I got, 3 films on that I ain't really seen all that much. So sometimes I started to see the difference in between that, and I see why the coaches pick the way that they pick sometimes. But really, yeah, I think LaMelo was snubbed, but I actually think Trey Young was a bigger snub because, I give him flack. I say that Atlanta not going to do a lot with him, but the young man balls, and then not only that, like I said, leading the league. Anytime you lead in the league and you got points, rebounds, assists, blocks, you know what I'm saying? Steals, what else you leading in, right? So if I'm not, my assists, I'm leading the league in assists, and I'm not in the All-Star game, coaches, what y'all looking at? I don't even know what they look. Who's better than that guy?
So looking at that, right, and taking that consideration, I don't think it's a quick fix in CD or any of this. There's no quick fix to the whole situation when we come back, because we're going to split the block in a few minutes to go back into the whole Jimmy Butler situation, where he can go, where the possibilities, what's best for him in the best case, what would be best. But when you look at the snubs, there's basically no way, because you're going to have some legit snubs. Like, that's a part of it, and it should be a part of it, honestly, when you look at it,
right?
Because you should have. Yeah, you should have the elite, the most elite of the elites. But do you think it's a situation where they have to make it positionless?
No, I think it's a situation that you have to keep doing what you've been doing and stop making excuses of why this guy not there. Let him gripe. It's going to be gripes all the time. Use it as a chip on the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Look, what was it? The 95 season, my Hakeem Olajuwon wasn't MVP. He should have been MVP of the league that year. They gave it to David Robinson. He just embarrassed him and went on to win the championship. See, use stuff for motivation. Man, sometimes that's what the stuff's supposed to be about. Like, use it as fuel and change. They say, I'm going to be an all-star from now on. From here on out, I'm going to be an all-star. You know what I'm saying? And go about it and go get it. Like, once you see what the hurdles are, sometimes you got to jump those. And I think sometimes, like, you can sit there and you can complain about it all you want, but you got to go out there and get it done. And it's not like they shifted. It's not like they've shifted the spectrum to where you can't reach it. It's just that now you might have to dig a little deeper and work a little harder. You know what I'm saying? What if the coaches just say, we don't want you on there because even though you put up these numbers, you don't go all out. You're just lazy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, when it comes down to coaches have an input, and it's not them about putting their guys in. Coaches want people that's going to work hard and listen, pay attention, coachable people. So if I feel like you ain't coachable, I don't even want to coach you in an all-star game. You know what I'm saying?
So going to this Jimmy Butler situation, right? And which is funny how I keep on seeing like Jimmy Butler wants to, if his preferred destination is of course is Phoenix, but of course the only way that works is Bradley Beal, who was brought in last year or year before, has to basically open up, because he's the only player that's left in the league with a no trade clause. He has to be open to going to wherever they're going to send him, one way or another, right? So he's messing it all up. In which, honestly, when it comes down to it, is like, is it the worst? At this point, Jimmy Butler doesn't have a no trade clause, so he goes wherever they send him, wherever Miami deems is a good place to send him as they come closer and closer to the trade deadline. Do you think Jimmy Butler gets moved this year, or do you think he's going to be put on administrative leave to the whole year, or does he come back and play for Miami and then leaves next year?
If I'm Miami, see, this is the catch-22 about things and perceptions of things. Pat Riley, it's time for you to go. You're running away. You're running away all the talent. Let's just keep it real. You're running away all the talent. Your old ways are played out. This BS heat culture that you're talking about that don't exist. You got 3 championships. What do you talk about heat culture? You got no heat culture. You talking like the Lakers or the Celtics or something, and you just won a whole bunch. Y'all ain't done that in Miami. And the one guy that's been dragging y'all here and there, this is the way you want to treat him, which I understand. You don't want to pay him a max deal or give him a bunch of money because he's 35. I get it. And then he's been hurt a lot. Like, let's just keep it real. So who wants to gamble on Jimmy Butler? I mean, I'm gonna be honest. A young Rockets team, if Udoka can talk to him and say, hey, look, you come in here just to ball and not be, this other Jimmy Butler, I think that's a good go there. You know what I'm saying? Go
Any
there.
team, honestly, someone like even like you coming here to be, we need you to go get it. Like, that's what you're coming here for. Go get it.
For real. Like, I don't want this clown Jimmy Butler that we seeing right now, right? The missing practices and all this other stuff just to have his way. I'm saying, but if the dude is gonna be about his business, man, it's a move. Like, Phoenix is not the move. This is why Phoenix is not the move. You're not gonna win with Kevin Durant's done. You're not gonna win with Durant. You're not gonna. I'm gonna tell you how Kevin Durant gonna win. Go back. I ain't gonna even say the Warriors, but go piggyback off somebody else this time. You're not gonna win in Phoenix. Devin Booker ain't good enough to win. Man, people don't start to understand the game. And I'm not knocking Devin Booker as a player. I'm knocking the fact that, the track record is there. He's been there how long? He had his chance when they went to the championship against Giannis. He didn't show up. He didn't show up. I got some Black Mamba in me. Didn't show up in the finals. He's never going to show up, dog. Like, when you got to understand, when you get the light so many times, they're going to take the light away from you. That light is gone in Phoenix. So if I'm Jimmy Butler, I don't know what you want to gain in Phoenix unless you're going to move Devin Booker. If it was a trade where Kevin Durant's going to stay and then Jimmy Butler's going there with Durant and him and Bradley Beal, they'll probably win more than the other way around. You're not going to win with those guys, man. Devin Booker needs to go to the Golden State Warriors. Like, for real. He needs to be a Golden State Warrior, learn some winning habits. You got no winning habits. Why do we waste so much time on these dudes with no winning habits? Like, that's the thing. These dudes don't have good practices on how to win, and they ain't got nobody showing them how to win. Like, seriously, you got to want to win. You a coach. When you coach your team, you coaching a winning team, right? You coaching them to be successful. You coaching them to give the most, to be, you know what I'm saying? So if they not even doing that, I like Spoelstra. But now we starting to see that Pat Riley ruining a good thing down there. And we starting to see the pattern that he running off the good players. They say, oh, this is what happened with LeBron. Not all these stories started to come out. I don't know if they true or not. But, oh, this is what Pat Riley, the same thing that he doing to Jimmy Butler is what he did to LeBron and what he reportedly did to D. Wade. Why you running off all the talent and the people that's making you something, bro? Like, for real. Like, it's time for Pat Riley to go. It is. Like, man, you great legend, but you've overstayed your welcome in the league. You got to be pushing 80. This dude can't be young no more. It's time for you to go.
So that's almost like saying that it was time for which LA ended up doing that, but that's like almost saying like it was time for Jerry West to go, where Jerry West. Huh?
I hear you. It was time.
No, it wasn't time for Jerry West to go.
Yeah,
I think Jerry West was like Jerry West while he was there. We had our little dark days. Jerry West went and he made Memphis hot for a second, and then he left, and then he came back on the block. And
how
then
many championships does Memphis have?
Block. Huh?
How many championships does Memphis have? Wherever he's went, how many champiomships they got? 0.
So what I'm saying is they wasn't void of a what I'm saying is they wasn't void of a turnaround. But everywhere Pat Riley has went. Everywhere Pat Riley has been successful.
Look,
only one
they
place
have not been successful. The New York Knicks. I bet you it's a bunch of diehard Knicks fans that'll tell you they were not successful.
I was about to say, except for New York, except for New York and Indiana, he's probably
right.
Probably.
So this is my point. You go to Miami, you have some success, and it goes to your head. For real. I mean, let's keep it straight. Pat Riley got what, 5 championships as a coach? 4 championships as a coach? He only got 4 with LA, I think. So what, he got 1 with Miami as the head coach.
And the rest are as a
so why do we put so much stake in a guy?
But he's not coaching now. He's a part of
that's what I'm saying. So what even up in the thing, even with him up in the box, how many championships had they won? 2 championships. You know what I'm saying? They've won 2. Dude, what are you hanging your head on to be this high and mighty? You acting like you won. The Golden State Warriors have won more championships than you, Pat, in a short time, and they've switched GMs a couple of times. Come on, man. They switched vice presidents of operations, and they've won more championships. But
they've kept the same coach, though.
So my point is, but here's my point. He's kept the same coach, too. Supposed to at this point in these last years,
in which he's going to 2 shots. So you gotta look at it like it comes down. You know what? It all comes down, in my opinion, to personnel. Whether it be because, like we just said, we talked about Jimmy Butler has carried the Miami Heat to 2 NBA Western Conference Finals. I mean, 2 NBA championships.
Right. So whose fault? But what I'm saying is he's taking scrubs to the championship. He playing with nobody's out there. You ain't gonna remember none of these people. Oh, that's all I'm saying. Jimmy Butler went out there and he playing with scrubs. Whose fault is it that he ain't got nobody to play alongside? That ain't his fault. That's Pat Riley them. No, this is the Heat culture. This is the Heat culture that you talk about. Like, stop it. You haven't had players in the building to play alongside great players since you had Wade, Bosh, and LeBron together. Doc. When you let LeBron walk out the door, they're with your friend. They're with, Jimmy Butler saved you, Pat, or you would have been out of there, bro. Come on, man. This dude saved you. And you want to, so Butler got a legitimate right, but let's not act like he won anything, is my point. See, it's enough blame to go around. But what I'm saying is Pat Riley, your time is expired. You ain't done nothing. You ain't done nothing. Look who's doing something. Look at the young Magic team that's coming up. And look, all of a sudden the Pistons are starting to get better. Another organization that's on the flip side of that trade is disappointment, the Portland Trail Blazers. I used to like y'all as a franchise, man. Y'all, you talk about taking scrubs to championships and being relevant and making championship runs. That was the Portland Trail Blazers. Up until now, I don't know what y'all doing, man. But it's time for Chauncey Billups to either do his thing or get off the pot, man. You gotta make something happen. I mean, It's ridiculous that a franchise that story. Same thing with the Utah Jazz. Like, yo, you gotta stop this. Remember a couple of years ago we talked about, oh, these players in the Jazz. Look how that worked out. All these scrub players, they ain't doing nothing together, man. What I'm saying is we've seen the best, and now we see other teams rising. Like, look, a franchise like the Pistons is never gonna stay down forever. You wanna know why? Because they built on trying to win. They built on trying. So regardless how far they go, they built on flipping the franchise around. Some franchises are just meant to be where they are. They gonna stay middle of the pack, like the Phoenix Suns. They go always every now and then. Oh, they're gonna give you a good run, and they might make it to a Western Conference Finals, or even well, now they made it to. They'll make it to a Finals, but they never win in it. They always coming up on the short end. Man, these things are always been predictable, and it's never gonna change, right? Like the Warriors completely changed what they were, right? Because when I was coming up, they were sorry. No matter if it was Mitch Richmond, no matter who they had, C.O.B, Detlef Shrimp, I think that was his name. No, the other guy, Mullins, Chris Mullins, not
Chris
Shrimp, Mullins. I mean, they had all these. Tim Hardaway, Senior. They were still sorry. They flipped their franchise. It's like, voila, that's a good move. But how many can you say have actually done that? Every year we talk about the Lakers and the Celtics. Every other year we talk about the Lakers and the Celtics. Every 2-3 years we talk about the Lakers and the Celtics.
Well, they're the creme de la creme of the NBA.
No, these other teams.
They're storied.
These other teams don't seem to get it. Everybody's in such a rush, and everybody wanna. Oh, I'm rebuilding. I'm doing. Man, if it take you 7 years to rebuild in today's time, you're not gonna get it done. You got a 3-year window to rebuild right now, because that's how fast things are flipping, and that's how fast things are moving. Disappointments. I talk about Doc Rivers, but then take the Bucks organization. You pass up a potential good thing for an old thing for a player. For a player who's only giving you one championship. Then you look at the Milwaukee Bucks game. You got to understand, you watch the games, ain't nobody even in the stands to see Giannis. So what did you do that for? You're not selling out. You're not selling out the arenas. You're not, see what I'm saying? It's got to be a win if it's a business. Where's the win of making those moves that Giannis wanted you to make? Where's the win at? Where put his brother and stuff on the roster? You ain't selling out. All your home games ain't sold out. What are you gaining? I mean, you just got to start asking them questions, Trey. Like, what are you gaining for a business to sustain the fact you're going to lose in the end? When Giannis is done or he decides he wants out of there, you're going to lose major. You already ain't got people in the seats with him on the team. Imagine what it's really going to look like when he gone. I mean, I'm just saying, man. Like, you got to get with it. You want to know why the Lakers are always big time? They sell tickets. You say, oh, it's L.A. No, they know how to market. And they know how to sell tickets. And you know what they didn't do? They didn't give their franchise up to the players yet. The players got impact. Right? They've always had impact.
Only certain players have impact.
Right. But what I'm saying is they've always had impact, right? But it's not to override the front office. They still, you're going to play with this guy if we want you to play with this guy. Or this is going to happen. I mean, you feel what I'm saying? It's not like Milwaukee. Giannis is telling them, I want this coach. Man, you had a coach where y'all was blowing the league out. Y'all was winning. It was strict. Principles were strict. But you was winning. You took that away and then you crashed. You don't want that. You see what I'm saying? And they caved. It's like, I get Pat Riley trying to toe that line. But dog, you've been a little too strict, Pat. You've been a little too strict. Like, for real. You got to listen to the people that's put Jimmy Butler, when he plays, is putting behinds in the seats, man. People came to see Jimmy Butler play. People come to see Jimmy Butler. Man, all I'm saying is, Miami, you got a different ball game, and you about to lose that. Ain't nobody going to show up to see Tyler Hero. I'm just telling you now. Like, they ain't going to, I'm just saying. They ain't going to show up to see Tyler Hero. So, work it out. Work it out with Jimmy. Find a reasonable ground, man. It's a reasonable ground if you could work it out. Like before we get off of here, I want to talk about the NBA versus the NCAA. What I'm seeing right now, um, as far as the levels of competition and the marketability and the way that they're doing things.
So we'll definitely touch there as we get ready to leave. So two more things in which I want to talk about, especially when we talk about transactions. The one possible transaction, what did you think when you realized that De'Aaron Fox might be on the market?
Man, that's a shock that the Kings are making a move. And I gotta figure they ain't about that life. They ain't about winning. I don't know what I mean, I don't know. Like it puzzled me. When I first saw it, I thought I was like, man, did he make the like
so what I think it is he's supposed to be a free agent next year. And what has been the temperance or what has been the word is that he doesn't plan to resign. So now they're trying to move him for something before they lose him.
I don't blame him for that move, but
yeah, definitely.
But man, I'm a rider though, Trey. Sometimes you guys gotta let things ride out, man. Like, I mean, you don't go like if you can get off the sinking ship, then get off the sinking ship. But what I'm saying is, man, sometimes you gotta ride it out enough to see if you can patch things up, make some moves here and there. But if you feel like you're gonna lose the guy for nothing, but you should have some kind of temper whether he gonna re-sign with you or not. But you know how this league is, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Fox and whoever else free agents, man, all click up and try to get on one team. See, I'm so sick of that song. There's no competition no more in the NBA. That's why I don't like it, man. Like, I like it, but I don't like it. From that standpoint, it's no competition. Like, these dudes ain't going head up. Like, no, I want to beat you. If you said you was the best, I want to beat you. Like, what do you play? Dominoes. If you say you a dominologist, I want to see. If you say, you know what I'm saying? If you say you a spadeologist, then man, I wanna play you with this spade. I want to see what you got on it. If you say you bowl, I want to bowl. I want to do whatever it is you say you so for real. It's no challenge no more in that league, man. And it's disappointing. It's sad because the level of competition was great one while. I mean, the Celtics just won the championship and nobody cares. Think about that.
I care.
I mean, I'm just saying. They did. Don't get me wrong. Boston did. But what I'm saying is it used to be like, yo, they the defending champs. Remember a couple of years ago when the Warriors won and they came back and everybody was like, yo, they want to beat the defending champs. It meant something. Now, a few years later, the Celtics have won the championship. Nobody cares about doing anything with the defending champs. Nobody. I mean, the fall off, bring it back to competition. Bring it back to competition. Like, that's all we want, people. As a fan, we just want you to bring it back to competition.
So, looking at what you were just talking about when you talked about the difference in the NCAA and the NBA, one of the things that has been tossed around and been talked about, which Adam Silver is trying to mesh along with what the rest of the, I guess you say the genre in basketball for the most part is he wants to switch from the 48-minute, 12-minute quarters to the 10-minute quarters. What's your opinion on that?
See, I keep telling you about this Adam Silver, man. And that's, you know what? That was part of the reason why I jumped on the whole, man, I put up a post about Silver. Seeing that right there, that 10-quarter thing, was why I said, whatever I put up my post, David Stern rolling over in his, like, dude, you got to try to change every facet of the game because you failing. Dog, you only doing this because you're not winning. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand, you're only making these desperate changes, these grasp. See, you grasping at straws. I mean, seriously, dang. Who has to do all this? But you had a perfect, when it was given to you, it was great. Great structure, great everything. You've allowed it to become ruined. And now you like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. Yeah, you ruined it, man. Like, yo, the reason why his name was David Stern was because he was stern. My guy, this guy here, this Silver guy, Like, not a stern bone in his body, and the league is showing it is going. The league is quickly going to rubbish, or whatever you want to call it. It's just not looking good for you, man. You got to change everything. You want to change the All-Star game multiple times. Oh, you want to change? Oh, now we need an in-season tournament. We need to do all this stuff to try to do the same thing that was being done with an 82-game schedule. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel me? Playing 12 minutes a quarter. All this. How about you bring all your players together and you say, hey, man, we dying here. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and play, man. Bring the people back. It's going to be up to y'all. I mean, seriously, why don't you do that instead of all this junk, man? Stop with all this junk and all this talk. And I got to change this. I got to change that. Remember, he's the same one that was talking about, oh, we want to shorten the schedule, right? Or we might want to, think about, you got to do all this stuff, man. You was handed something perfect. For real. Perfect. As close to perfect as you was going to get.
So going into the last of this, NCAA, men and women's, hell, WNBA, well, not WNBA, unrivaled. Like all this is going on, which I feel is precursors to specifically unrivaled when you talk about the WNBA, which is a subsidiary to the NBA, is which everything is being pummeled into these leagues because it's supposed to stand one up and then it helps to build the other things, as well as I know you are against it, as well as the a league, or overseas league, which is I think is another.
Man, all that's gonna do. Look, I'm gonna keep it real. All that's gonna do is do what they're doing anyway. Man, look. I hate to say this, man. Look, America. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, man. Like, I rock with my black people. We black. Like, look, man. If y'all don't see the writing on the wall, they're gonna do anything to make sure it's not the black people. Like I said, you give the young black people a shot right now. The young black people not popping, man. And nobody really want to admit that. Caitlin Clark came in from the WNBA with all these sisters, these young sisters that been balling. I'm not saying this personally. I'm saying, look at America, look at times. They telling you that you're not marketable. So it's something that we got to start looking at ourselves and figure out why we're not marketable. Like I said, I alluded to it with the John Morants and all this stuff, the people that they picking to be the heroes of the league. These dudes, your business is too much out there on social media. I don't need to know about you messing with porn stars or who you having babies and stuff with and willy-nilly and stuff. Man, this is what I'm saying. This is what's killing you right now. This is what's killing it. You know how LeBron James and Steph Curry are doing it? These are two happily married men who ain't been in no trouble. This is why you still got to market them. You can't market these young dudes. John Morant is holding pistols on social media.
Was holding pistols.
I mean, you feel what I'm saying? I mean, you feel what I mean? Man, nobody wants to say it. Everybody's scared to say it. I watch Stephen A. I watch all these other shows. I watch a lot of different stuff from time to time. Not all the time, but I see. And everybody be scared to say that. Why are we as people scared to say, hey, look, young black men, the reason why they finna take the game to Europe, and you might not care because you got your money, but for the other young black kids coming behind you, the reason why they doing the Euro League and stuff is because you ain't rocking it right. You ain't got to be saints. But, man, somebody got to have some sense. Everybody that they try to pass the torch to, as soon as they get the light, it's over. Seriously, why do you think they trying to pump up a Jokic? Seriously, why do you think they trying to steer you other directions? Why do you think Caitlin Clark's impact was so much? And I'm not saying that for the young lady. What I'm saying is this, man, you got to make yourself more marketable. Lose that attitude. Go into those meetings, man, and show them your genuine smile. Show them your skills. Do more than just sit there for the bag, man. Represent a little bit more than just for the bag. Don't get the bag and then shoot the finger. Seriously, because that's what we're doing as young people. We see it all the time. Go to the gram right now. I mean, I'm saying, look at what we doing. Seriously, they gonna take it away from us. That's why I be the people that helped get there and made the NBA that They all looked like you.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
do
They
you
all
think?
look like you.
So in this conversation, right? Do you think that the people which you talk to, like some of the elder statesmen or stuff like that, in all across the line, but particularly in the NBA, do you think in back rooms and offices when they meet up and see each other, do you think they're having this conversation? Like, do you think if Michael Jordan pulls up somewhere like NBA All-Star Weekend, where you know that they're hanging, you know, saying amongst each other and stuff like that, do you think that conversation is being had where there or people are reaching out and saying, "Hey"? You know what I'm saying? Someone like want to have a word. Jordan, Chuck, Shaq, like all these people, Magic, like he wants to have a word with some of y'all. Do you think these are conversations being had?
I think in some instances they are, because you've heard some people mention them. Like, yo, my man pulled me to the side and put this in my ear. But I think sometimes, I think a part of it is us. Sometimes, like, you know, like the so-called legends and the so-called OGs and all that different stuff for the game, we got our nose in the air too. We ain't looking down to try to teach them nothing. Like, figure it out on your own the way I had to figure it out, right? Which is what I was saying about my recent thing about LeBron James and Bronny, right? That I started looking at it in a different perspective. Perhaps LeBron ain't pulling for this kid because he's just his son solely. Maybe he said, hey, man, you know, when I was 18, I was this. You know what I'm saying? So where yours at? Maybe he, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you feel what I'm saying? Maybe he put that on Bronny like that. Like, hey, man, if you my son, you got this in. You know what I'm saying? You got something in. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe that's the challenge. I mean, all I'm saying is that sometimes, you know, man, you from the same black culture that I'm from, man. You from the same, you know, we don't reach back. The rappers been saying it for years. The OGs in the game don't reach down to teach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, they don't reach down to teach like that, because if they did, you would see the difference, right? Like, you would see the difference. Like, you know, you would see it. I mean, I think it's too much. All you hear is the criticism. You know what I'm saying? Like when Kyrie was going through his stuff, all you heard from the OGs, his peers, the OGs that was in his thing, the people that he probably would respect the most and all that stuff, all you heard was them criticizing him. You never heard nobody saying, man, hey, yo, I'm going to go, you know, I'm going to hold a conversation with the young brother. We're going to talk about, you know what I'm saying? What's good and what's not. So what's really on your mind. Nobody coming at it like that. That's what we do in our culture. We beat each other down. You know what I'm saying? Remember Boys in the Hood? Oh, buddy, mama was always, you just like your daddy. You ain't nothing. That's what we do. That's what we do to our people all the freaking time. Oh, I love my kids. Get your in the what I love it, man. For real, I'm serious, man. And you know I'm telling the truth, man. That ain't no lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's no lie. All we do is beat each other down. We don't never, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's all we know is to beat each other down. Maybe we don't know no other way. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is that somehow, some way, it's got to flip and you got to get the message across. And I think that's the problem, is that these kids are a direct reflection of, you know, and these young ball players, these young people that we get our eyes on all the time, they're a direct reflection of our quote unquote culture, people. That's our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's our culture. Man, you got to be tough to survive our culture. Because they're going to beat you down with words. If you ain't getting beat down with fists, if you know what I'm saying? If you ain't getting beat down with fists and sticks, then you getting beat down with words and mentality and everything else. Dude, I'm going to tell you what. I've had 2 black men in my life. Seriously, my whole life. I'm 47 years old. I've had 2 black men in my life really, truly be encouraging. You feel what I'm saying? Consistently. I mean, seriously. Like, and that's sad that I'm 47 years old and I can tell you of 2 people in my life that have been, some people can't even tell you one. You feel what I'm saying? If you ask them, man, who's a black man that's really been encouraging in your life? Who's really somebody that look like you is represented? Why you think we hang on to this stuff right here? Man, we talking sport. We talk about these people with phenomenal money, phenomenal talent. I mean, seriously. The average everyday young brother, when I taught school out of North Carolina, man, that was one of the first things I learned is that, man, bruh, these kids never heard a good word from a male figure, a black male figure in their life. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of sad, man, when you start to look at different things. But that's got to change. Like, we got to stop beating each other down and start being. That's why I'm the people's coach, people. It's about encouraging. It's not about beating each other down. Like when I see a team sucks, that's sports. That's nothing. I'm never gonna say an individual sucks. You know what I'm saying? Your coaching might suck, but you don't suck. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a person, like, you phenomenal. Like, that's the difference. Is that, yo, Trey, we just beat each other down way too much, man. And when is it gonna stop? We were so happy. Look here, we from the same culture. Rap music was friendly for a minute, and everybody just going about their business and getting their little bags and making their little money. I mean, you feel what I'm saying? And then we wasn't satisfied. Even me, I'm guilty, just like everybody else. I wasn't satisfied until it's some beef, right? Until it's the gladiators, until it's the biggest names in the game.
So we got to take in consideration like that got the juices going again, and now
I'm just saying,
and it's gonna get re-sparked. Like, you know, so we got to take in consideration. Like, look at it, right? Kendrick Lamar dropped GNX after his
squabble up his mind.
So I'm talking about the album GNX, but he dropped the album GNX after the toiling of the two of them on, I guess you could say, his maxi single, or, you know, saying the 5 songs what they went back and forth, the beef tracks, right? And then he turned around, dropped GNX just before, just as it's getting announced that he's going to be the halftime show for the Super Bowl. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
K-Dot, represent the city.
Looking to see the great show, you know.
So now, but what's going to happen is the beef is up again. Like, I just seen somewhere I see him in the clips supposedly in the studio, which is going to be interesting, I'm sure. So when you look at it, right, that we like it, that energized in a sense, to some degree, like GNX and the dropping it. But look at it, GNX got what, 5 tracks. The song is only a 12 tracks, I think. And he got 5 to 7 of those tracks is getting spins in mainstream music.
It's good. That's what I'm saying. Like,
in less than a year.
For us to even, that's what I'm saying. We got to be beating somebody down in order to want to be involved. It's got to be something. I mean, I'm just saying, we got to be proving that we got the best hands. We got to be proving that we whoop our kids' ass. We got to be proving that we the toughest of the tough, dog. All the time, we got to be proving that. Like,
so in your opinion, you don't think that they was poking the bear, and finally he had enough?
No, I think it's just timing is everything, right? I think right now, while the irons is hot, he was cooling off. Nobody was really checking for Kendrick like that. And then this beef started, and now he's killing the game. But guess what? What's it going to do?
I mean, the beef is over. I mean, it's probably going to get reunited. You're going to see little tiffs here and there.
Overall, it's not going to put him above Jay-Z or Eminem. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna. What I'm saying is, it's not gonna raise his status. It's not gonna put him above Wayne just because.
But it solidifies him.
I mean, he was already solidified. Now. It's like you was already solidified. So what's your end? My point is,
I think what had happened is
now we just getting better music.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that I don't. So because I mean, like, he's from my city, like, I'm going to ride for Kendrick regardless. So and I don't think Drake is a slouch. Now Drake drops some joints.
One of the best to ever do it. Drake is one of the best to ever do it, man. Whether
from
how many writers you got, okay, whatever.
So when you look
the
at
stuff that I heard, he good.
Yeah, so Drake, you know what I'm saying? Drake, but you know what I'm saying? He bit off more than he could chew. Kendrick wasn't Meek. I was about to say Meek Mill. Kendrick wasn't
yeah, he wasn't Meek Mill. He was better than Meek Mill. Kendrick's better than Meek Mill.
Roger, yeah, he wasn't Meek Mill. Like, he wasn't like Drake thought this was a dub, and you know what I'm saying, he thought he was amped up and ready to go.
I get what you said.
And it wasn't how that's not how that ended.
What Kendrick has proved is what I've been saying about the NBA. See, the NBA can learn something. Competition is everything, right? Compete. I want to be better than him. You know what? I'm not dapping you up. I'm not like, yo, if we supposed to be going at it, I'm not dapping you up. What am I dapping you up for? After the game, we go stand in line and we go shake hands. Ain't that the way they supposed to do it? Before the game, I can mug you. I ain't gotta like you. I ain't gotta say that to you. Let's just get it. Come on. Like,
set
for
the
real.
tone. And that's what they did. That's they set the tone. I mean, they wasn't on. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, because Kendrick Lamar is a different animal. So it's probably no isn't him and Drake ain't cool. So that's just what it is.
Ali and Frazier, man.
Like, yeah, they're not cool. So that's just what it is now. They're not
they probably was cool by the first fight, but after the second fight.
It's like now it's like you did too much, bro. It's like you did all this, like we ain't cool at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like no different from on the track where he talked about him and Wayne, and where it was like he felt like Wayne felt a certain type of way because he got the Super Bowl joint, and it was something said. And so of course he came back, but he said him and Wayne spoke about it, and Wayne told him, you better kill it then. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it is. So you have that type of stuff, right? The back and forth.
So my thing is this. If I'm Kendrick Lamar, why do I need Wayne to tell me I better kill it? Like, look,
I don't think he did it, but it's just simple fact.
I felt like that thing was blown out of proportion, right?
Just because the expectation is Wayne. I think the expectation was who Wayne, because of who Wayne is, like we're talking about, like, you know what I'm saying? We know pecking order is whether, you know what I'm saying, preference is Jay-Z, Wayne, Eminem, the three people, and maybe LL. When you look at it, that's it, that those legends that are still around, that are still producing music, those are the pecking order. And you still got people like Ice Cube, Scarface that would do a track here and there. But when you look at it, you talking about LL, Wayne, Jay-Z, M. That's where we're looking at it. And you have the Drakes, the Kendrick Lamars that are broaching. You know what I'm saying? In that, but you know what I'm saying, when we look at it, when we talk about lyricism, that's what you have, right? So with Wayne being in that, this is my home. The expectation was that Wayne should have got the starting spot.
But where did that come from? That just because the Super Bowl is in your backyard, you would think for to
galvanize the region.
I mean, the Dre thing was special.
Yeah,
the Dre thing was special.
So you think, right? But it wasn't Dre that made it special. It was the other ones that made it special.
But what I'm saying is, it was special. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was necessary. This whole Wayne performing in New Orleans, Doug, if they miss you in New Orleans, wait till it's in Miami and then they catch you there. Like, this whole thing about you performing in, what I'm saying is that I think it was too much emphasis on him playing in New Orleans when that ain't no rule. Mm-hmm. Hey, I saw Maroon 5 perform in Atlanta, and they brought out Big Boy from Outkast. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? They brought him out. They brought Outkast out. Do you feel what I'm saying? It was Maroon 5. They brought them out in Atlanta. It was no rule that they were supposed to perform in Atlanta. All I'm saying is that where do we get this rule from?
And I'll be honest, I'll keep it 100 with you. Had it been me, my thing would have been on, even though I realized it lined up for him to drop GNX after the fact, but in which we don't know.
But they not like us before that, right?
Oh yeah, you know they not.
Because I swear that's why he's doing this Super Bowl. Like you.
Well, yeah, that gave him that put him on that put him on the pop out tour and all that. That put him up. It's
I'm
up.
Just saying,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like galvanized the West. It's up.
Man, you got the hottest song. You got the hottest song, probably. That's probably gonna be the hottest song of the decade. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying that they not like us. Probably gonna be the hottest song of the decade as far as bringing the people to the dance floor, bringing the people to pay attention, bringing the people. I mean, for real, man. He did that with that song. Man, I just hear that little beat and everybody dancing to that little beat.
Well, that TV off, like he done sit up in the
TV off, yeah.
To squabble up, like all these.
Squabble up is my. Now squabble
people
up.
You got to understand the background of squabble up.
If you don't understand, my personal favorite.
If you don't understand the background of squabble up, then that's where you miss the genius in part.
Squabble up is my personal favorite. I actually,
it's the concept for me for squabble. I mean, for off of GNX. off of GNX, it's TV off.
Yep.
And even Dodger Blue.
Now,
But
what's the one with the mural? The mural, something that was pretty good.
that's the one that he's talking to Wayne and Snoop and stuff about.
Yeah.
So that's the one he started off with old girl who sung. But Squabble Up, you have to understand the concept of Squabble Up to understand like this man used nothing but song titles
right
to put a track together.
Right.
His song titles or song titles. No,
and that's what I like about. Hey, yo, Squabble Up.
So that's in the stratosphere of lyrical alphabet. Assault.
And for me, it's taking it back to. I remember people saying, "Oh, no, this game ain't got easy, so everybody can do this." Now everybody can't do what you say it again. Everybody can't do what he just did. You know what I mean? You feel what I'm saying? Everybody can't do that. Now it still takes talent to reach a certain level, even in that game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can get you a little coin here and there with something, this, that, but to do it on this level and to do what this guy is doing with it, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's different. But, you know, I know we done took up enough of y'all time, but I am going to say this. Thanks for the show. It was much needed. And for myself, before I get out of here, I'm going to say, man, rest easy to my partner, Rocco, man, a.k.a. Brian Julian. Man, my partner passed away. Cancer took him. So, you know, man, I know cancer is rough, but at the same time, we was on the road together, did a lot of work together, traveled together. I was the best man. I was the best man at his wedding and stuff like that. So it kind of hit me kind of hard. Losing somebody, you know, we was relatively close, you know, kept in touch for a minute and stuff like that. So, man, people, you know, don't let your loved ones walk away feeling ill or anything like that, man. And anything you can do to help your fellow man, I suggest you get on that train and then think about your own life, man. We ain't gonna be here forever, so make the most of every opportunity, do the best that you can. And one of the biggest things that I learned from people like Rocco is that you can get along with people from all walks of life, no matter what. And you know, and you can find friends out there. For those of y'all that ain't got no friends, you can find friends out there if you really looking. So what I really want to say is shout out to Abby, shout out to Caleb, you know, his wife and his kid. Hopefully they doing all right during this time. And Rocco, man, I'm gonna miss you, man. I already got the Jack and Coke pulled up, baby, when this show over. In your honor.
So like he said, we probably took enough of your time for tonight, but we had to get back into it. We'll be back come next week. You know, in Super Bowl media day, or the opening day for Super Bowl was Monday. The festivities are up. We're going to beginning. They already said Amir Khan's pulled up. It has his yacht posted up in the Gulf, sitting out there in New Orleans, over not too far from the stadium. So all the heavy hitters are starting to pull up and make and take their assault on the Big Easy in New Orleans, where the Super Bowl was going on this week. So we might not be there, but we're going to find our way to make our way to have the conversations, of course. So it's up from here. Y'all enjoy y'all's Friday. Be sure to tap in. Y'all going to see us next week, probably on the weekend, right before the Super Bowl. We have to sit up and see what time, since we won't be on the field ourselves. So definitely look forward to talking to y'all. I got a couple of other things which I'm looking at. I think tonight sparked a conversation in reference to culture. And of course, we know the DEI situation is going on. So I won't have to put together a couple of panels to have some real conversations. We do more than just sports. Like, the mind is forever expanding. Pretty intelligent people over here. So we look forward to hollering at y'all, talking to y'all. Y'all be easy. Enjoy y'all's night. And we'll holler at y'all next week. Peace.